looking at the front door, you can see a few marks where it's scratched or faded, some blemishes along the door frame here. You have some markings, some chips in the wood. This would have to be repainted. And on the wall for here, see where it looks like some patchwork was done, but left white. Would have to be repainted to match the outside of the house here. Anyways, well, let's make our way inside. We will start in the first floor entryway. Looking at the front door, you can see paint damage on multiple spots, as well as damage on the door frame that will have to be repaired and the door repainted. Looking at the walls in the entryway here, you can see spots where pictures were hung and little shelves. These wall or holes will have to be filled in and repaired. As we move to the first floor closet, the door seems fine, but there are multiple spots in the closet that have been scuffed and marked, as well as on top by the shelf. This closet will have to be repainted as well. We will now move into the first floor bathroom. We are now entering the first floor bathroom. There's almost no water pressure on either hot or cold side. And we can notice some pinhole marks from where artwork was probably hung that will have to be filled in and touched up with paint. There's some slight markings on the door frame that would have to be touched up again with paint. We will now make our way into the dining room. First things to note in the dining room, as well as in the entire first floor of the home, we have some pretty large scratch marks all throughout the hardwood floor in the downstairs of the home. We can see more holes that would have to be filled in and touched up with paint. We will see this throughout the video, throughout the entire home. On this wall, hard to pick up from camera, but there is discoloration where it looks like the wall had been touched up with some paint. You can actually see through it here to the white, where drywall repairs were attempted, but you can still see the actual hole or bumps where the putty has been filled in, as well as multiple holes and marks throughout the wall. More here. These marks continue down here on the corners. As we make our way through, you can see more marks and more patchwork that'll have to be done to take care of all these holes and pin marks in the wall. We'll see this type of repairs that'll be needed throughout the home in this video. More markings up here. They continue. There's some more blemishes on the wall and holes. I said, we'll continue to see this throughout the video. We will make our way into the hallway and into the laundry room next. All right, in here, the little hallway, there is some slight paint discoloration up here that would have to be touched up, where you can see through the wall. We have a hole right here that would have to be repaired. Again, this room would just have to be repainted. You can see these blemishes all down here in the corners. And as we make our way into the laundry room, you can actually see damage has been done here to the door. It's actually punched through there. This door would have to be replaced, as well as some damage marks up along the top here, all along the top ridge of the door. As we close the door, as we've seen before, some holes that'll have to be repaired. We actually have a mark here in the wall from the lock of the door that goes to the garage, where it had been opened and probably pushed open hard and bypassed the door spring, allowing it to actually go in and damage the door, or the wall, excuse me. You can see some more marks here that'll have to be filled in and repainted. Moving into the garage, the first things we notice is a large amount of stain marks on the flooring. We have some dried up paint drops, oil, various debris. All the flooring in here would have to be cleaned and resealed. We can actually see this is some fresh oil right there that it's been dropped, and you can see where it's just been collecting on the floor here. We do see damage on this part of the wall. Looks like where repair was attempted, that would have to be fixed, and the entire garage would have to be repainted back to the original color, which was white. Looking through the rest of the garage, multiple holes where shelving used to be in place. These would all have to be filled in before the repainting could occur. These carry throughout the garage. As we make our way down to the next wall, you can see again just various spots that would have to be filled in and repaired before the repainting could be done. Some more holes up there, and then all underneath these shelves here, more holes. These would all have to be filled in. There's a long line of them up here. These would all need to be fixed. And we will make our way back inside. All right, we are now entering the kitchen. Again, as we've seen and will continue to see, holes in the wall that would have to be filled in and touched up with paint. Do have some more scratch marks on the floor that get more serious as we enter the living room area. The water pressure, as we've seen in the bathrooms, again, is very low here in the kitchen. That's on full blast right now. And the hose portion of the faucet does not stay in place, as well as when you attempt to move the faucet, it moves smoothly that way. When you go to move it back, it actually gets quite tough to make it go to the left side of the sink there. Again, right here, water pressure is very low. So we make our way over here. Again, there are some blemishes where you can see through the paint. So it'll all have to be touched up and repainted in here. The shelving units on the back are still nice and secure in place, but they will need some caulk work along the back edge here. And these would have to be repainted as well. You can see some further blemishes on the wall here and on the roundabout portion of the island. That would have to be repainted. Down here on the baseboard, there are some markings too. We will now make our way into the living, starting with the back wall. We do see some blemishes, as well as a long line across the wall here where I'm sure a sofa was in place. This whole room would have to be repainted. The sliding door does lock and unlock properly. The handle will need to be tightened though, you can see it moving there. It is currently raining, but the screen door that was in place would need to be repaired. You can actually see it's got a large hole in it, as well as another one at that end. Sliding door shut. Again, as I talked about earlier, some scratch marks that are in here. These aren't just surface marks, they will actually catch your nail. Floor probably have to be sanded and refinished to take care of those. The more serious set of these marks is actually right here, where you can see a big portions of discoloration and actual scratches down into the wood. As we open the blinds, do you notice the windows? This window will only go about halfway before it gets too tight to open more. It actually bows out in the middle here. This would have to be adjusted and repaired. And a more extreme example of this is on the corner window. It cannot even latch because it's so far out of adjustment, and to open it, it actually is not, I don't even feel safe letting my hand go, but you can see the window moves side to side a good amount. You can actually almost pull it out of the track there. So it definitely have to be repaired. I use two hands to lower it now. But that window would definitely need repair so it can lock securely. That's a definite safety issue. The two windows here, again, will need some adjustment to be able to lock properly. This one is latched shut, but again, it is tight to pull those latches out. Various paintwork will need to be fixed on the walls. We do have some more nicks and blemishes here that would need repair. Like I said, every room in this house will have to be repainted to get back to what it was. More blemishes on the wall. More holes that would need to be patched up and filled in. Some more blemishes right there. The area surrounding the fireplace does have various marks on it that would have to be repainted to get back to what it looked like. There's some more scratch marks here on the wood. We will now make our way upstairs. One of the biggest things to note going upstairs and as we move throughout the second floor of the house, all the carpeting here is got a large amount of stains on it. We'll see a bigger example of this as we move into each one of the bedrooms, but all the carpeting throughout the home here will have to be thoroughly cleaned by professionals to get it back to hopefully what it looked like. Again, as we've seen, we do have spots and blemishes and holes that'll have to be filled in. Again, we can see the staining on the carpet, and as it continues up the stairs, some more marks in the walls that will have to be filled in and repainted. Some scratch marks on the railing here. We have damage on the window here all the way down to the metal brace that wraps around the corner of the wall here. That would have to be repaired and repainted. More blemishes on the wall here. As we continue to move up the stairs, I'll try and get the stains that are here in the carpeting. You can see here at the top of the landing some more marks, an actual line where it looks like a shelf was hung. These will have to be filled in and repainted. You can see another setup here. There's the hole, the line coming down, next one. Again, more stains in the carpeting, but we will now make our way into the top floor. All right, so in this top floor, this hallway here, as you walk down, you can just, again, see lots of staining on the carpet. Various marks on the wall here, blemishes and small holes that would have to be repainted. As we make our way further down the hallway, here's some more marks on the wall. Carry along to, again, where a shelf was probably hung up. So it'll all have to be filled in and everything repainted. As we make our way down to the end of the hallway where this desk is at. Here by the light switch you can actually see a pretty fair amount of damage these blemishes are at. So it'll all have to be filled in and repainted as well. Some more marks. The wall here again. So like the rest of the house, this entire hallway would have to be repaired and repainted, but we will make our way into this first bedroom. As we enter this first bedroom, the first things I see is some markings on the frame here that would have to be repainted. And as we enter the room, we'll turn around and shut the door, and you can see this room is a lot of wall damage. There's these little dimples here that carry throughout the wall. As we move down, you can see here some more of them there, as well as some holes. I counted 23 marks on just this wall alone that will have to be filled in and repaired before it can be repainted. As we move into the alcove here, we can see some damage on the wall there. Again, that would have to be repainted and fixed. There are just a lot of holes in this room that'll have to be filled in. And perhaps the bigger thing to notice in this room is the staining on the carpet. See some there. That moves into the bigger spot here in the middle. I'll put my hand down there for a size reference. And we also have some red coloring, again, is on the carpet. That moves into the closet as well. There's actually, you can see some blue markings in here. And while we're in the closet, the shelving unit is not very secure there. We do have holes in the walls and scratches that'll have to be, again, repaired and repainted. And like the first floor closet, the shelf is scratched up. They'll all have to be repainted as well. So we move back into the room. You can see where this door's actually been damaged. That would have to be replaced. We have some more holes on the wall here that'll have to be filled in. This just carries throughout the room. There's various marks and damage and dimples in the walls, with the switch plate covers missing here. And as we move along on this back wall here, you can see a very large blemish, and as we get down to the corner of the window here, you actually see where the drywall has been chipped away down to the metal bracket. All that would have to be repaired before we could repaint this room. The screen on this window is actually missing. Nothing keeping from anything from falling out or coming in, and the window, like we saw downstairs, is out of alignment. That would have to be repaired. It's quite tough to open and shut. And along with that, it becomes very difficult to lock the window securely. That latch works, but when you get to this one, it will actually run into the outside window, not allowing you to close it completely. We have some more markings here on the wall that have to be repaired. We will make our way now into the second bed. Going into the second bedroom here, we do see some small marks and nicks in the door. Again, like we've seen, there's some stain marks in this room. We have a few more over here on the back side. And the carpeting would have to be thoroughly cleaned. As we've seen in most of the rooms here, holes that will need repair, blemishes. We actually have some damage, a large chunk missing from the baseboard here, as well as right there. This section of baseboard along the back wall would have to be removed and a fresh piece put in. We see the markings on the wall. I'm sure the bed was in place. Nails are actually left in the wall here. More holes and nails. Again, markings in the walls would have to be filled in. On this edge of the wall, we actually have screws that have been left in place. It would have to be removed and filled in with some putty and repainted. Slight blemish there. Again, as we've seen in the other closets, turn the light on, we do have blemish marks that would have to be covered up with a fresh coat of paint. This closet would have to be repainted, as well as the top shelf. We will now, as we leave, you can see another dimple in the wall here where the door had been shut hard or in some way overpassed the door spring. This one you can actually see is broken. It's no longer tight. It won't perform its job, as we can see, since there is the hole in the wall there. We will now exit here and make our way into the bathroom. Bathroom is in pretty good shape overall. We just have some slight discoloration here. Fresh coat of paint would take care of that. The big thing is the hardware for the door has actually been removed. It's all laying right here. This would have to be replaced. And as we've seen throughout the rest of the house, the water pressure is just almost non-existent. But like I said, overall the bathroom's actually in pretty decent shape. Just a few marks that would have to be filled in. But we will now exit and make our way down to the bathroom. Is in pretty good shape overall. We just have some slight discoloration here. Fresh coat of paint would take care of that. The big thing is the hardware for the door has actually been removed. It's all laying right here. This would have to be replaced. And as we've seen throughout the rest of the house, the water pressure is just almost non-existent. But like I said, overall the bathroom's actually in pretty decent shape. Just a few marks that would have to be filled in. But we will now exit and make our way down to the master bedroom. So as we enter the master bedroom, there's a few marks on the door there. As we enter, right away, as we've seen, some screws left in the wall would have to be removed. So these could all be filled in with some putty. The room would have to be repainted. So we've seen, we do have some slight markings and nicks in the actual wood of the trim around the fireplace here. They would have to be filled in and repaired. Some markings up there. Up above here on the wall, would be better without the light. You can see all these more screws and blemishes that would have to be covered up and filled in. Right there. As we step out onto the master balcony, you can actually see the floor here. It's got various stains and markings on it. It'd have to be cleaned, possibly repainted up here. And continue on throughout. Looks like we have some paint droplets. Yeah, and these just continue on the way back into the corner here. But let's make our way back in. Again, stains on the carpeting. This would all have to be cleaned. We have more blemishes on the wall. And this room would would have to be repainted, and a decent amount of putty work to fill in these holes. This is probably where the TV was mounted. This would all have to be repaired and filled in. Let's make our way into the master bathroom. So again, similar to what we've seen already, we have various spots here in the walls that would have to be repaired and filled in. Some markings up here on the wall. More holes. Actually, if we go to the back wall by the tub here, we have a push pin that was left in place. Another one right there. As we make our way into the walk-in closet, again, lots of stains on the carpet. Not as bad as we've seen. This isn't a super high traffic area, but there's still some areas that would have to be cleaned. We do have some markings. Again, the shelving would have to be repainted to take care of the blemishes and scratch marks that are on it, as well as up here. Move down, you can see some more of them in this back wall.